All right. Welcome to Talk Tuesday, a series that is dedicated to empowering youth and families. This series is being brought to you by Steps Foundation, Inc., where advocacy meets education for the betterment of young minds. Each month, we explore meaningful topics designed to inspire growth, spark creativity, and equip our listeners with the tools they need to thrive. I'm Abigail Ellis, your host and executive director here at Steps Foundation. I gotta say it because what I see here is today I'm surrounded by all the men, and I'm here for it. I love it. So that means y'all better be getting all the nuggets tonight. I'm just saying. As we continue to move throughout this year, and especially within this month, there's no better time than to pause and reflect on what really drives us. And that's why this month we've been diving into one of the most personal and powerful topics that we've had on the show yet: finding your purpose and your passion in 2026. Purpose isn't just about having all the answers, it's about asking the right questions. It's about discovering what lights you up, what values you hold close, and what kind of life you want to build. So, whether you're in middle school, high school, a college student journeying through, or even an adult trying to figure it out, now is the perfect time to think about where you're going and why. This January, we've been exploring how to discover your passions, exploring college and career paths that align with your values, and how to use service and volunteerism to find deeper meanings. But tonight, we're diving into something a little bit more deeper. And so you don't have to have it all figured out, right? You just need to start somewhere. And we're going to begin that journey and continue it throughout. So tonight's topic is on building a life that you are proud of. And I love this topic because again, I feel like that looks different for everybody. And it is what's personal to us. And that's what we really do look forward to hearing about. So y'all know I gotta open up with a question to make y'all go, because I can't help it. What does it mean to you to build a life that you're proud of?
Look, I'm gonna start off this one. Coming from the young one.
Mhm.
Look, for me, building a life that I'm proud of starts with me, my mental health, my physical health, my well-being. Because we didn't said this on a podcast before. You can't help others if you can't help yourself.
Mm.
You got to be good before you can extend outwards, right? So let's start with the physical health. We're gonna keep ourselves in shape. We're gonna try to eat right. Emphasis on try. It's okay. We gonna get there at some point, as long as you trying. Um, gonna make sure we check up on ourselves. We're gonna make sure we have that support system around us, the people that we need in our lives, that we don't got no toxic relationships, no one-sided relationships, or only like non-mutual beneficial relationships, because that's gonna drain you real quick. It's not healthy.
Don't be shy, bros. Come on.
No, Oh, it's an open discussion? I didn't know. Go ahead. My bad.
I just thought like as my nephew started talking, I was just like, why are we even on here? This should be the Lamar show. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
man, sound like he's 50 years old talking. You know what I'm saying? Um, but and I agree with my nephew, so I'm not going to say anything to contradict him. I just would like to add a few things and maybe even if I could extrapolate on some of the things that you did because I jotted them down, nephew, because you give so many nuggets, I can't remember them all. But what does it look like for me is legacy? That's the word, legacy. Um, and I didn't really know what that word meant because I never was introduced to it as a young man. But I do recall when my youngest son probably was middle school or somewhere, I asked him, hey, like, what do you want your legacy to be in school? Like when you leave here, what do you want people to remember you by? Not it can't just because you hit a lot of home runs in baseball. You know what I'm saying? It's got to be about your character, who you are as a human being. And then when I asked him that, I kind of started checking myself. What do I want my legacy to be? Right. Um, and now I'm 10 toes down standing on business, that I got two grandsons who, when I'm long gone, I want them to know what their grandfather stood for. What was the legacy? What did I leave behind? What did I do to other people without reciprocation? Right. And if I could, just to touch on my nephew's 2 points, he said about the physical health. I see a lot of cats in the gym, going to the gym, but there's a component there that has to go along with that. And that's eating healthy. He said that, but I mean, when we talk about eating healthy, we have to think about the inflammatory disease where a lot of our ailments begin because we don't eat healthy. It's a lot of, byproducts. It's a lot of preservatives. It's okay to eat organic. It's okay to eat tofu. It's okay to eat bean sprouts. It's okay to eat these. It's okay to be a vegan, right? We have to start normalizing eating healthy and saying, you know what? I can do a rice cake with some organic peanut butter or honey, and that's going to be the same thing, right? So I think you're right on with that. And side note, last night I tried Mike Tyson's push-ups for the first time in my life. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you, if I see why Mike was knocking cats out, because I can only do 50, and your boy was done. Mike Tyson push-ups. Check them out if you don't know what I'm talking about. I'm gonna get some more in tonight. And then the last thing, real quick, Lamar, the toxic relationships. Don't just forget about them because they're a part of you. They don't define you, but they're a part of you. And if you can, if it's possible, go back and address those if you can. See if there can be some healing. See if there could be some restoration in those. Those relationships don't have to get back to what they was prior to the toxicity. But if there's some way we can heal ourselves, we can't heal the other person. But if there's some way we can heal ourselves, that will help infuse our legacy even more because now we made the attempt to rectify something that was challenging to us. So, nephew, the show is yours, man. I'm gonna mute.
I noticed that both of y'all got to talking about eating healthy. I feel like y'all taking shots at fat people, and that's cool though. It's all love. It's all good. I'm just sitting here, you know what I'm saying? I'm look, I'm in shape. I'm round. Round is a shape. All right. I ain't gonna let you just clown fat people all night on this thing. So yeah, so that's first of all, taking little shots, taking little jabs. Oh, you gotta eat it right, fat. So like, hey, now there's only so much fat slander I'm gonna allow on this podcast. So, anyway, um, what does it mean to live a life that you're proud of? Um, well, I know we live in a day and age now where everything needs to be posted, everything needs to be said on the internet, everything needs to be on Instagram. And I feel like we have, as a society, even the older generation, the younger generation, we have gotten to the point where we feel like if we don't get 25 likes on an Instagram post, that whatever the accomplishment was, we shouldn't be proud of it. We shouldn't be happy. Oh, well, only two people liked my post. Like does not equate. Views is not currency. Views can't buy you food for the day. You understand? Healthy food, because apparently you got to eat vegan now because of these two gentlemen. But anyway, food, views aren't gonna do that for you. At the end of the day, your stomach's still gonna be growling while while you got all these likes and stuff. Being proud of your own life starts with recognizing that it doesn't have to be on the internet. The internet doesn't have to validate you for you to be living a proud life. If you get up every day and you do something you love, you could be proud of it. If you get up and your family or your loved one is proud of you, should be more, the weight of that pride and their happiness towards whatever you're doing should be much more of it should do more for your pride than the internet could ever do. Because how many actual friends on the internet do we have? Like, when I say friends, I mean people that actually know what's going on with you besides what you post, right? Like, those people, they're just out there in their own world. They're the main character in their own life. They're living their prideful life, and we're sitting here hoping that they take a time from their busy schedule to give us validation. We don't need validation from nobody else. We could self-validate. our friends and our real close people, our mentors, our teachers, our coaches. If you got children, your children, those are the people that should, when they smile at you because of something you did for them or to them or with them or for yourself, that should allow you to say, I'm proud. I am proud, and that's the end of it. So, yeah, that's me.
I have my kind of definition of a life that, building a life that I'm proud of, or somebody can be proud of. For me, it starts, like the other gentleman said, it starts internally. It starts with um, the man in the mirror per se. You're gonna, at the end of the day, no matter what heights you may achieve, or whatever the case may be, whatever success you may have, or failures in life, from an outward perspective. At the end of the day, we all have to look at ourselves in the mirror. And again, that is where our validation comes from. So if you live a life with character and integrity, when you can stand behind your choices, you live a life where you've kept your commitments and you've let your word be your bond. My father used to say, all a man has is his word. So a lot of times, those things aren't valued as much in this transactional, society that we're in. Everything is, like my brother here said, it's about likes, it's about clicks, it's about manufactured tension. But at the end of the day, none of that really can satisfy you on an internal level. You can't really, it's true. Money can't buy you love. These external things really can't feel that satisfaction up on the inside. So again, having character, keeping your commitments, and living courageously. The proudest moments in my life were those times where I had to face something or make a decision that may have been difficult, or make a commitment to something that I had to follow through on. And then it's like, when you put your best effort out there and you give everything that you have to something, then the result, it's important. But at the end of the day, win or lose, you win because you gave it your all. So like, being a husband, being a father, I know that I'm not perfect. My wife and my kids will probably tell you that I'm not perfect. Um, but I know that every day, from the time that I married my wife to us having kids, and now, our kids are older teenagers and young adults. I know that every single day that I've lived, I've made every decision that I've made in order to be a good example to my children, and to be a good example to my wife, and to lead my family with integrity. So those are the things for me that really comprise a life that you can be proud of. At the end of the day, you don't have any regrets, because you faced every choice with those three things: the character, the commitment. That's okay. My wife kicked the light off. The character, the commitment, and I forgot what was the other C I said. Man, I forgot it now. But y'all get what I'm saying.
So, man, I gotta go after these guys. let, I've been sitting here wondering, like, what was they gonna leave for me to mention? Yeah. So eat right. No, I'm joking. But all in all, my bad, man. My bad. Hey, just for the record, I'm just now getting into the gym because my trainer, I had to go get a trainer so that I can change my shape. So we good. We good. So you're not the only one with the round shape right now.
Don't be putting words in my mouth. I said we trying.
Yeah, there we in there. But I would say one, every key point that everyone talked about is definitely A1. I would take to add to that is alignment with yourself. A lot of times we look to be healthy. A lot of times we look to change who's around us, but we never really look within ourselves. We're never true to ourselves. And what I mean by that is your values. Do the actions match the values that you truly have? The ones that you talk about on a daily basis, are you walking in that same purpose of what you're preaching to people, right? Being real and true to who you are as a person. And just like Smitty was talking about, growing through the pain. A lot of times we hold on to so much animosity and we're lashing out at everybody else, wondering why people hate us. Well, they hate us because look how you're acting. You preach one thing, but you over here talking trash on social media, being subliminal for no reason. Like, grow up. Really, if you got an issue, go 10 toes deep to the person, have that conversation, and let it go. Let it go. My main thing that I said 2026 is being intentional with what I'm doing. Every movement that I make has to be intentional. If it's not intentional, or if I set boundaries and someone cross it, have that conversation and move forward, because I got to make sure that when I go to sleep, I'm walking in my purpose. I did everything that I'm supposed to do. In order for me to be proud of who I am and where I'm at, I got to make sure my purpose is protected. In order for my purpose to be protected, I got to make sure those that are around me are walking in the same light, because if not, I need to separate myself. So sometimes being proud of the moment is separating yourself from those that are not supposed to be around you, so that you can be intentional of where you're going in life. Hopefully I hit a nugget or something.
Nah, man, sis, you see, I got my hand up. I hope I'm not stepping on nobody. Man, I love, y'all don't even understand where I'm at right now. The fact that we are on here, hosted by a Black woman, and it's Black men discussing topics like this is seldom seen. This is critical. This is critical. So before I get into just highlighting what the good brother Varian said, hey Malcolm, hey dog, I see that insurance shirt. Man, I'm with you. That's important. That's a financial aspect. We ain't got time for that today, but I see it. Circle back to good brother. Varian talked about being courageous, and as a matter of fact and clarity, I just want to, if I could, and brother, please, feel free to push back and help me with this. For me, when I heard you say courageous, I automatically think of me in East Oakland and me wanting to fight, because that was courageous, trying to fight off the evils or the challenges. I think now as I evolve, and if I could press upon young people, the courageous part of becoming is being vulnerable, to say no, to think different, to want to have different, to want to become a better human being, not just a man, but a better human being. And again, I hope I'm not putting words in your mouth, brother, but that's what I heard. And I want to share with young people. When we think courageous, don't let the words fool you. Dig into what that word means, courageous, right? Especially as a father, as a husband, right? And then I'm gonna shut up this because I said husband and I wrote that down too. The good brother said he had his wife right on the side of him trying to remind him what he said. Young people, a relationship is about teamwork, and it's being acceptable to listen to your partner. We can't know it all. And as men, we got an ego, it's fragile sometimes, but it's okay to listen. And I'm gonna shut up after this. I text my wife this today. I said, hello, beautiful. What can I do to make your day better? This was probably about 8 o'clock this morning. Hey, without hesitation, she said, hey, why don't you wash the linen and the bed so I got a soft landing spot when I get home from this work trauma? I'm done. I'm going to leave y'all. Hey, I'm washing right now. I just want to let y'all know the wash machine is on.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, no, that's beautiful that you highlighted that point. Definitely courage comes in a lot of different forms, and having that tenacity of spirit to break out of molds, to break out of what somebody else may be pronouncing on you, or maybe what your family history or your environment may prescribe for you to be. But having the courage to say, no, I can look at things differently, can think of things differently. And I'll add another C to that: curiosity. Being curious about life is going to take you so far beyond what you ever thought or may have planned, like for our young people. Um, I got three girls, and I've told them since they were yes indeed. I've told them since they were young, you do not have to have it all together, but you have to stay curious, you have to stay focused, and you have to try different things in order to find that passion. You know, for this monthly topic, finding that goal, finding that passion. Sometimes you have to volunteer, you have to give of yourself, you have to think outside of that box, and it takes courage to do that because a lot of times, you know, we grow up in, you know, first of all, in our immediate family, there are systems and pecking orders and different things that are in our immediate family. Then you branch that out, you broaden that perspective into your community that dictates certain things and experiences. And then you look at overall the system that we're grown up in, um, by design is not designed for us to succeed. You know, so there's so many challenges that we have to overcome. And our young people today have it so much differently than what we had it. You know, I grew up in the 80s and you know, it was different than how my kids have it. We didn't have social media. We didn't have all these different pressures and things kind of pulling on us to say, well, if you don't have this, then you're not, you know, successful. If you don't have, you know, all these followers and different things, then you're not where you need to be. And that spirit of competition and things like that and trying to find that validation outwardly is like pushed on our children now to find validation outside of themselves, outside of, again, what my brother said, the pride that comes from when your family is proud of you should have a heavier weight. But in our society now, those things are discounted. Now it's like the breakdown of the family unit. And so it's like, well, no, your family can't give you that pride. You have to get that from a bunch of strangers online. And so we have to, you know, make sure our young people understand that first it starts within, and then it branches out to that real support system. And we have to count that support system. We have to look at our circle, who's around us, and understand that, you know, we are the average of our circle. So if you have people in your circle that are moving upwardly and trying different things and being positive, those are the people you want to surround yourself with. If you have people in your circle that are, you know, going into negative directions with their life, and trying to pull you along with them, just like T.I. said, don't, you better not go with them dummies. You know, you can't surround yourself with people that are going to subtract from you, from your character, from your commitments, and from your character. So that's it. I'm gonna shut up too. I will let the brother talk.
Before Orlando goes, I want to just be very clear, in case people miss it, right? So Virian started off with 3 C's for us. We got 4 now. Okay, so
that's literally what I wanted to comment on. I didn't know we could add C's because I just
like we add more C's.
Listen, C's.
So
okay.
I was like, let me give them this list real quick before Orlando go. And I'm like, look, we had character. So I hope y'all heard character.
Yeah.
Commitment, courage, and then he added curiosity. Come on, Orlando. I feel like you got another C.
Yeah, I got another C. I want to add control. Take control.
Oh, let's go.
Control of your legacy. Take control of how you're presented to the world. I ain't just talking about the internet, bro. The internet is not a real place. It's just not. It's not a physical building that you can walk into at the end. When you turn off, when you log off, you cease to exist in that world anymore. You're back in reality. Take control. Start your own business. Start your own anything you want to do, and understand that you don't have to be what you value as success, what you view as success doesn't have to be what somebody else on the internet deems successful. You don't have to be chasing nobody. So my thing is control. Like, control your own narrative. Control how you are perceived. Control what you find to be successful. Control the people around you. And it's an old cliche, but if you're the smartest person in the room, you shouldn't be in that room. always surround yourself with people who are smarter, who got more money, who doing better, who have invested in stuff, who started a business, who's been to college, who's hung around people, who've touched elbows with people that are just way bigger and better than anything that you have even imagined, so that you can always look up to them and say, hey, how do I do this? Pick people's brains. Don't be afraid. Take control of your own voice. Don't let people assume, well, oh well, he's quiet. He ain't saying nothing. So, being a wallflower, bro, you ain't gonna get nowhere. Closed mouth don't get fed. I had to learn that. I was up until I was 12 years old, I was the shyest person you ever want to meet in your life. I'm totally extroverted now, but there was a time where if I only spoke when spoken to. There was a time. And I'm not saying just go out there and just, be loud and obnoxious. However, be ready. Like we all sitting here on a panel right now, and they trying to think of what to say and sound. Be ready with whatever you got in life, in these panels, in your job, in your love life. And I want to touch on one more point. The gentleman said, he said, oh Lord, what did he say? Hey, he texted you, Smitty texted his wife. Hey, beautiful. I don't know if this is too adult of a subject, but never stop flirting with your spouse. Never stop flirting. They say the grass is greener on the other side, but have you ever thought about watering your own grass? You know what I mean? Like make sure, make sure and this can apply to your spouse. This can apply to your friends, your family. Make sure those people know that you care about them, that you love. That's another C, that you care about them. Make sure they're comfortable. Make sure they know that they can be comfortable around you while you're living your prideful life. Make sure that they can live theirs, then they're not being judged. They're not being, because you look at the internet and you say, and I'm not hating on, we're literally on the internet right now. Okay. It's a powerful tool for education and all of that, but it can also be, as my mama would say, the devil. So let's keep it in perspective, right? So like if they're doing well, you shouldn't have to go, well, yeah, you're doing good, but you ain't doing as good as my favorite content creator over here. You got this many views, but you ain't got Kai Cenat amount of views. Like that's that man's level. And he started out just like all of us, and he worked his way up. So yeah, take control of your own narrative, of your own words. Don't be out here quoting other people, because when you do, and please stay off of Chat GPT. Please stop. Please stop using chat, relying on chat. It's not your thoughts. These are not your thoughts, because you could read off a thing that Chat GPT told you to do, and go in an interview and have your whole resume written out through Chat GPT. Then when that interviewer asks you a question about what you just said, you don't have nothing to say to them, because that's not your words. So take control. And I'm stop. Go ahead. I'm stop. I can keep going.
Okay, hold on, Lamar. Before I let you go, hold on, because we now have character, we got commitment, we got courage and curiosity, we got control, care, and being comfortable. Come on, Mal, and then Lamar, I got you.
So I like one of the things he said is where he was speaking on the grass being greener on the other side of the fence, but one thing he talked about was those people that are around you. Don't just judge them. Don't leave them. And I will add this, not to go against it, but to add to it. It's great to make sure you're not the smartest person in the room, but if you are the smartest person in the room, make sure those around you are ready to be watered. Right? There will be times that you will be the smartest person in that room, but if they're not ready to be watered, then you need to walk out, right? You need to walk out, because I love it when I'm not the smartest. Like I just went to an event Tuesday and I was like, wow, let me go rub shoulders. But then there's a lot of times I'm like, man, I'm not learning something, but I'm doing my purpose of pouring into other people, long as they're willing to be poured into. So I just wanted to add that key component, because I feel like a lot of times we say, hey, don't be the smartest person in the room, and people, they cut people off when they could be helping somebody elevate to another level. Just to add that.
That's called gatekeeping. Yeah, that's called gatekeeping. Hell right. Yeah. Yes, sir. You remixed my point and you made it better. Good job. Good job.
Look, I love it. Come on, Lamar.
Look, not how we speak in a remix, and I'm about to remix Uncle V's point, because he said curiosity. right? But curiosity ain't nothing if you ain't asking questions. Let's talk about that. Question everything around you. Get into the why. Get into the root of the cause. Because if you can't get into that root, if you can't question it, what's the point in curiosity? Curiosity starts with questions. Ask them questions. Don't be afraid. Tap into that courage we need in life to ask them questions. Because look, if you don't ask questions, how you gonna learn? You can't just walk into a room and try to learn something without asking questions. The question needs to be asked for you to come to the answer. The question needs to be asked to find a solution. If we want to solve problems, we gotta ask questions. That's where it all starts. The question is the key in life. We all started asking questions when we was little. Let's elevate them questions as we get older. Because if we don't ask them questions, how are we going to learn life? How are we going to experience life if we're not asking questions?
Come on for them C's. Look, he utilizing them C's in real time.
Bars. That was bars.
Okay.
Hey,
Look, I heard remix.
I'm Isabella, I'm gonna get right to you. I'm gonna let you have it. Only the people with gray in their beard gonna understand what I'm about to say. Curiosity killed the cat, but satisfaction brought it back. That's it. Go ahead, Isabella. I'm sorry.
My beard's not gray yet, right?
No, ma'am, not you.
Oh, okay. I was like, where's it coming in? Anyways, I was gonna touch on what Lamar was saying, and I definitely agree that we need to be asking these questions. I go into class and I ask the questions that people are usually afraid to ask. People, you don't want to look stupid. You don't want to look or be perceived by other people a specific way. It doesn't matter to me. Being humble and having that backbone to kind of ask the questions that everybody else is thinking but won't ask is definitely an important skill to have in life.
CB, she over there using them C's. She using them C's. She got that courage and that curiosity.
So look, this, I'm moved right now. I'm moved. And I gotta say this because it's important to two parts about becoming who you want to be and what does that look like. And brother said it about being authentic yourself, not using AI, not looking over the fence because the grass is greener. I always tell young people this, and I hope it makes sense to some people. It's because I was that cat. I can't lie. I was young. I was impressionable, but the grass that may be perceived to be greener on the other side of the fence could be astroturf. They ain't watering it. They ain't putting nothing in it. It's fake. Yeah, your grass may be patchy. You may have gopher holes, but it's authentic. It's legit, uncut. You know what I'm saying? So be mindful of that when you're looking over the fence and you see they got the green grass and the swimming pool, and the swimming pool really ain't nothing but a dugout hole in the ground, and they poured some water in there. So understand, man, everything ain't what you think it is. And then to my nephew's point about asking questions, I think that's so powerful and poignant, young man. I think for me, the question is, who are you? We can ask these other questions and go off into this whole diatribe about what is this and what is that. But who are you? Who am I? That's what I had to ask myself. Smith, who are you, bruh? Why are you going around dressing like this and talking like that and trying to be that and trying to do this? Man, who are you? Who do I love? Do I love myself? How do I want to think? How do I want to talk? How do I want to sound? Like bruh said earlier, like when you go into places, you be who you are. I can remember, and again, we go back to the people with the gray. I remember the first time I popped in the cassette in my beatbox, and I hit record and play because I was a rapper and I was going to drop some bars, which I did. 1985. Oh, it was hard too. But anyway, when I hit rewind and play, that was the first time I heard myself outside of myself. And I thought, who is that? Didn't sound like me. My internal sound sounded totally different. That hopefully, I didn't know, but that started me on the road, young people, to ask, who are you? You have to find out who are you before, like Lamar said earlier, you can't do nothing. You got to find out who you are, what you like. Like brother said, are you an introvert? You're an extrovert? You're hands-on? You're verbal? Who are you? Who are you is the question to get us to all the way back to the circle, to the original question. You got to start with, who am I?
They don't know nothing about hitting that play and record at the same time on that karaoke machine. You got the one empty tape on the one tape deck, then you got the beat on the other. You play and hit record, then you record your dub on the second one. You move the tape. They don't know nothing about that, man. They don't know. I almost threw my headphones when you said that. They don't know nothing about recording like that. But it is kind of, hey, all jokes aside though, it is kind of creepy to hear your voice for the first time. Like when you've been hearing it in your head and you hear it and you're like, oh my God, do I gravel like that? Why do I breathe so hard? Ugh. Yeah. So anyway, I'm going back on mute. My bad.
No, but God. I think that all encompasses this question, right?
Yes.
Because
absolutely.
if you haven't articulated who you are and you think you are sounding one way, but you ain't, how are we ever going to get to grow to become this person we want to be and execute our legacy? There has to come a time when we inquire about who we are and what we sound like. Just saying.
To piggyback off of that, to go from audio to visual, a lot of people haven't actually seen what they look like either. When we look in a mirror, we're looking at a reverse image of ourselves, and that's the image that we get the most comfortable with. You're not looking at how the world sees you until you see yourself recorded on something, not a selfie, because a selfie again is another reversed image. I'm talking about through someone else's lens. Ooh, that was bars. Wait a minute. Well, through someone else's lens, then you see yourself and you're like, oh my God, I didn't realize my feet lean like that. Am I pigeon-toed? Wait a minute. Because you choose to ignore those things about yourself. And you could use that as an analogy for anything in life. You know what I mean? But yeah, when you see yourself the way people really see you and hear yourself the way you really are heard, it can either humble you or it can make you say, you know what? I need to get better at this. I thought I was the greatest singer of all time in the shower, on my way to work. But then you actually hear a recording of yourself, or you see yourself in somebody else's, like you in the background of somebody else's video, and you're like, oh man, look at me, Jesus Christ! Why didn't nobody tell me I just shouldn't have wore that hat? Like, for real, we need to stop looking in the mirror and start looking at through the lens and see ourselves for real. Who we truly are matters. You know what I mean? So yeah, I like
y'all
that
point. Better
point.
come through. I'm gonna give y'all a lightning round question. Listen, look, I'm here for it because listen, y'all took this whole episode with just one question.
I'm sorry, I'm long-winded. My bad.
No. You don't gotta be sorry. No,
I kicked it off.
Again, that's what the podcast is all about. Sometimes it's one. Look, Smith know very well. So there have been nights, but we have just had one question. That one question has carried the entire episode. Tonight, that was that question. But I'm gonna ask y'all this one because I feel like this one is just as important, especially as we are, or people are like thinking about like, what is their purpose in life? What does that vision look like? How do they get to that end goal? What's the one thing that you guys do daily that brings you closer to your goals?
I feel like this is gonna be both a literal and very good one for everyone else. Sleep. It's gonna get you to that next day, but it's gonna get you to that next day amazingly. Let's say you woke up on the wrong side of that bed. It's okay. You can roll over to the other side of the bed where it's better. You can say that both literally and throughout your day. You can roll yourself onto the other side of the bed as your day gets better. As that day goes on, you roll over all up under that bed. And it's okay. We want to roll ourselves over sometimes. Even if you wake up on the good side of the bed, roll yourself back over to the bad one. Sometimes we need a little bit of pain to understand how much life is, to understand how much life matters. What we do matters. How we look to ourselves and what we do, stay true to ourselves, matters. That matters in life. Forget the internet. That's external. What we're talking about is internal. How do you look to yourself? How do you act to yourself? Are you staying true to yourself and your beliefs, your values? Because if you're not, that's a problem.
Not my man said roll back over. He said roll and get back in and roll over. Try again. Anastasia, I see you, baby. Come on.
I would like to say something for me, and I hope it resonates with others, is being okay with being imperfect. You make mistakes every single day, and it's so hard, especially when you have this goal that's set and you feel like you're 10 steps back. You have to just remind yourself you're in a roller coaster. You're always going to go down, but you're always going to come back up, and that's okay. And just being okay with who you are. You're not a bad person. You just make bad choices. But like Lamar said, go to sleep because there's another day tomorrow. Lord's will.
So I got to push back on my nephew. I don't really sleep. I try to limit myself to maybe 5 or 6 hours tops. Um, I just don't want to waste any precious moments. And I mean that, like, seriously. I know we need rest. I know, nephew, I hear you, I see you. But cannot, cannot, I don't know what it's in me. It's always been that way. Like, I'm missing something if I'm sleeping, and that's just who I am. I've always been that way. For me, to the point, sis, of the question about goals, and this is no way trying to diminish that word, but I don't really set goals. I think that kind of pigeonholes me to getting to that, and then I don't have a purpose any longer once that goal is met. Now, I'm not saying people shouldn't set goals. That's not what I'm saying. For me, it's more or less a check-in, a update, a progress report, if you will. I said this on my show yesterday. I'm glad. See, sis, I'm telling you, we be on the same wavelength. We don't even be knowing. I started it off with like, how do we start our week? And I just thought about a checklist going back to Dr. King's blueprint. We can't get nowhere if we don't have a blueprint. So for me, trying to get to my checkpoints, trying to get to my progress report, I look at reflection. Was I true? Was I accountable to my checklist? Because that's what's going to help me get to where I want to go, if that makes any sense at all. You know what I'm saying? So everyone's going to have their own way. And again, this is me in no ways trying to tell people not to set goals. I know for me, it just I try to mix up words to help my mind work better. And again, that's just for me. So I reflect a lot. And how did I do today? Was I the best man I could be? Was I the best father? Was I the best husband? Was I the best brother? Did I do this right? Did I do that wrong? And then the accountability comes when I address it and try to, rectify it if I didn't. So that's kind of how I like get to those.
Hey, real quick, I just wanted to acknowledge Isabella dropping bars in the chat. I don't know if y'all reading them. She dropping jewels in the chat. Somebody got to give her a hand clap or something, man. I'm listening to everything everybody's saying, but she quietly over here dropping little Yoda nuggets in the chat. So I just wanted to acknowledge that real quick. Yeah, because the sleeping, yeah, I must agree. I don't sleep as much as I used to. I used to sleep. I work overnight. Literally, what time is it? I gotta go to work and I gotta start getting ready in about 10 minutes. Okay. I work overnight, but working overnight, I'm nocturnal. I've been naturally nocturnal. The word you were looking for, Smitty, is FOMO, fear of missing out. It's a real thing. That's how I became nocturnal. I used to stay up late at night watching HBO, and I wasn't supposed to be. I was seeing all kind of stuff I was was supposed to be. But again, only the great beers can understand what I'm talking about right now. So y'all remember the squiggly lines. Anyway, so so yeah, but as far as finding something that you do that makes you happy every day, um, I definitely treat myself, and that could mean a plethora of things. Obviously, I'm a larger man, so that usually sometimes that can involve food. I know Smitty and Lamar hate on fat people, but it's all good. Um, but every now and again, you know what I'm saying, I'll be riding, I'll be like, you know what? Let me go over here and stop to this Cheesecake Factory real quick, pick me up a, you know what I mean? Just because I can do it. Look, I'm not to get all somber or nothing. I grew up poor. I grew up relatively poor. And my mother, hey, we didn't go without eating, but I heard my mama's stomach rumbling. I heard it was nice that she didn't eat, and she would literally like watch us eat and wash the dishes, cook the food, everything, clean off the table, and we didn't know no better. We just thought she was on a diet or something. It wasn't until years later we realized, oh, milk costs $14.18. That's why she couldn't eat, because everything was expensive, and I never did know how she did it, but I find myself as an adult saying, I'm not going to starve, or I'm going to go ahead and get myself that thing. You know, I save up for it. And last point, I agree with my wife. Okay, I agree with what you said about not setting goals. I think it's the way you saying it. It sounded a little harsh to a younger generation, but like when you have this linear path, I think we're at a time where you can't just set, okay, I'm gonna do A, B, C, D, E. No, because you might have to do B and then skip all the way to F and then go all the way out to R and then come back to C. In today, there was a time when you went through junior high, you went through high school, and you got out, you went to college, and you got out of college, and you got a job in the field that life, that perfect little way of doing things has been altered by society, by the government, by us, by everybody. So you can't necessarily have that linear path anymore. Some people can, and shout out to them. But the ones of us who have had to go around as opposed to the linear, I feel like we bring character to the world. You know what I mean? Because we got a story. We got an unbelievable, crazy, wild story. Like this was not supposed to be my life. As I said last podcast, I was supposed to be a professional wrestler. Some kind of way I end up doing what I'm doing now. You know what I'm saying? But I'm still happy. The biggest part of it is happiness. You know what I mean? It's not being content, which is yet another C word, but it's being happy. So yeah, treat yourself, make yourself feel good for just a minute, and yeah. But anyway, 5 minutes. All right, I'm out. Go do your thing.
My response to that is staying connected to the vision that you have, right? And understanding that the vision is not, say, about he wanted to be whatever he wanted to be or whatever you want to be to accomplish is not going to be tomorrow. So you got to wake up every day and give it everything you got. To give a quick example, Noah and the ark, it took a long time for the ark to be built, but he had the vision. He had people that wanted to distract him and everything. But even then, once you get to the point, to Smitty's what Smitty was saying, once you get to the point, if we were to use the ark as an example, the ark started floating on the water. But if you don't know this, or you may not know this or not, there was not a steering thing. So you still got to have faith to get to your destination. So it looks good that you finish the arc and you accomplish the picture that you had, but now it goes further. Where are you going next? So if your business or you're starting a business or whatever it is that you want to accomplish, yeah, you reach the goal of getting it started, but now what can that do to the lineage or to the legacy or to the people that's coming behind it? Now you got to add more to it, and with that comes faith. So long as you keep the faith and the vision aligned and put the work into it, everything's going to come together.
We ain't just trying to get to the playoffs. We're trying to win the Super Bowl. Isabella, you up?
Yeah, come on, Isabella.
Gosh, I don't know if I can get. It's just, it might be a little bit religious, and I don't want to drop that on you guys if that's not Okay.
Come on.
All right. Well, I stand firm in the belief that God will use you wherever you are at, and you have to let him use you. You have to let him. We go back to Genesis 17:15, where God used Sarah and Abraham, and we're thinking, I'm an old man, I'm an old lady. I can't be used by God at this point, but he still wants to use you today. He still wants to work through you. And I believe we can't wait for that perfect moment to start working on ourselves and start being that go-getter, but we have to work where we're at now. Now is not, it's the perfect moment isn't going to come. We have to make that.
Oh, let's go. Let's
Hold on, hold on.
go.
Isabella, future reference, whether it's a podcast, whether it's whatever room you in, if you in a room full of black people, especially some of us older black men, you ain't never got to ask if you could bring God into it. You could bring God into it anytime. You can just throw it out. Hey, I'm about to throw God in here. Boom, just hit it with the God bomb. You might have to ask about politics. You might have to ask about certain sports people are into certain teams, but you ain't never got to ask a bunch of black folks, hey, can I talk about God? Yes,
Well,
we
I'm
just
I'm
been
gonna
on it.
correct you, Orlando, because this ain't that kind of show, and we are a
Right.
youth development educational show. So yes, she does have to ask when she's in a room like this.
Okay.
So
Sorry.
now that
1,000
being said,
apologies.
D,
Yeah.
do you have anything you want to add?
Just real quick, you said something that you do every day. So I do pretty much every day. I start my day with, just kind of reviewing what I have going on that day. Um, and then I do start my day with like something positive, whether it's something I read, whether it's something I find online, like a positive podcast, or just a page that I follow. But I always try to start my day with something really positive, just to kind of get me in the mood to say, hey, yo, today is an open book, and it's what you make of it. Like you say, control. You kind of take control of your day. Don't let your day take control of you. And so, you just go into it with a great attitude and try to manage your time well. But yeah, understanding that, you're gonna get there, step by step. You might not take a leap today. You might just take a baby step today, but forward progress, is progress. Incremental progress is not wasted time. So that's how I start my day pretty much every day. And I have some friends that kind of always, reach out to me in the morning as well. So yeah, that's a good practice.
I love. Listen, y'all did that tonight. Y'all did that. Look, first of all of y'all should be giving yourselves a round of applause because look, y'all filled the basket. We got all the gold bars in the basket. I gotta go find my diamonds because y'all told me I need diamonds in the basket next. So I gotta go find my diamonds to fill the basket. So that being said, because we can't end the show without hearing from our youth program ambassadors. And so, again, I am super excited to turn this over to our youth program ambassadors, leaders who are showing us what it means to live with purpose in action in real time. They've taken on a powerful advocacy initiative this quarter. And again, we want them to share out with you all the things that they are getting ready to do. So, Abby, that means that I'm turning it over to you, honey.
Hey, hi everyone. I'm Abby, a youth program ambassador with Steps Foundation, and I want to talk to you heart to heart, especially if you've been thinking about what your purpose might be. Sometimes purpose isn't loud. It doesn't always look like standing on a stage or leading a movement. Sometimes it starts with courageous choices, quiet moments, and standing up for what's right, even when it's hard. That's exactly why our YPA team chose Teen Dating Violence Awareness as our advocacy project this quarter. Because real purpose shows up in how we treat people and how we expect to be treated in return. If no one's ever told you this, hear it now. Love should never hurt. Respect isn't optional, and your voice has power. Whether you're in a relationship, thinking about one, or watching a friend struggle, know that you deserve to feel safe, heard, and valued. And if something doesn't feel right, you're not alone, and there's help. So we're creating a space to talk about it. On February 22nd, from 1 to 3 p.m. at Hart Memorial Library, we're hosting Jeopardy in the Name of Love. It's real, it's interactive, and it's a place where teens and parents can learn together what healthy love looks like and what it doesn't. Purpose is about action, and this is ours. We hope you'll join us. And hey, there are more chances to grow, learn, and lead coming up soon with Steps Foundation. Don't miss these upcoming events. On February 7th, the Color of You workshop at 12 p.m., an art-based experience focused on mental health and identity. Come create, express, and connect. You can register for everything at stepsfoundation.org and follow us on socials. Thank you for listening, and don't forget, your voice matters, your safety matters, and you deserve relationships rooted in respect. Let's be the generation that makes that real.
Let's go, YPA. They make me so proud. I love this because, again, as our youth continue to go out and use their voices, this is a way that we can continue to show up and support them. And so if you guys are not doing anything on the 7th, I know Smith, unless you really feel like catching a flight to show up on the 22nd, look, come on down. Look, come support the youth in that room. I'm so excited for the work that they are doing. Again, y'all keep showing up and keep doing things in the community because your voices are being heard. So finding your purpose isn't about presence, it's about possibility. It's about giving yourself permission to grow, to explore, and to dream without fear of getting it wrong. Purpose isn't found in one big moment where everything suddenly makes sense. It's built through small intentional steps, through the risks that you take, the lessons you learn, and the courage you show when you keep going, even when the path isn't clear. Every choice that you make, every challenge you overcome, and every win that you celebrate becomes part of your story that you're writing. I got to go back to Variant C's and all the additional C's, just in case somebody missed it and they came back to rewatch it. He said, you're gonna bring in that character, that commitment, that courage, that curiosity, the control, the care, and the comfortable nature around you. Okay. So remember all them C's, and y'all keep tacking on C's as you go. There's going to be additional C's that you find to throw in there. Make that story your own. So as I want you to also remember that whether you're beginning to discover what lights you up, whether you're exploring college or career paths, giving back through service, or simply asking yourself, what do I want my life to stand for? Hear this clearly and hear me loud. You are not behind. You are becoming. And your journey matters no matter where you are. So as we continue to journey through 2026, I invite you to move forward with curiosity instead of fear, with courage instead of doubt, and with heart in everything that you do. Set goals that reflect who you truly are. Honor your voice and celebrate your progress, no matter how small it is. I thank you guys for being a part of Talk Tuesday this month. Look, y'all cleared the month, okay? Y'all showed up and showed out for January, and I'm here for it. I love it. I thank you guys for that. I want everyone to remember the power of positivity is always within you. So until next time, stay strong, stay curious, stay true to yourself, stay inspired, stay empowered, and keep leading the way. And we'll see you guys next month for a whole brand new topic.